Afternoon. Another good day out here today. I think we're getting our legs back a little bit, which this time of year is not easy to do. So I feel good from a physical standpoint where we are. And on Sunday we'll start the actual game prep. We'll do some lifting tomorrow morning and some running and that kind of stuff. And then the players will be off on Saturday. Questions?
When you get back to practice on Sunday, how healthy do you expect to be in general terms? Because obviously a lot of guys are sitting out now.
Sure. I think we'll be healthier than we started the week, healthier than we were after the last game. But there's still a couple guys that I'm waiting to get a little bit of a read on, and I'll get that Sunday morning just to give them as much time as possible to recover.
So how did Aiken do in his, I guess the last two games, because he played a lot after Lorenzo got hurt the first game. What's your assessment of Jonathan Ben?
I think I would comment more on the most recent game where he had the whole practice week and took a starter's reps, and I thought he played a good game, a very consistent game. Made the plays we asked him to make, so I think we're very pleased.
Did PJ come back with that second day without the soreness, everything you were looking for?
And I think he might be a little bit sore, but I think that's more muscular just from the work, of standing and doing it for 2 hours or an hour and a half and going through a practice. But he ran around today great. I thought he loosened up quick. I thought he looked good. And we'll see how he feels tomorrow, but I have no reason to believe that he won't be ready to go Sunday night.
If you didn't know, could you tell right now that he was injured?
No, I don't think so. And I've been looking for that. You always, when a guy comes back from a lower body injury, you want to see, is he favoring anything, or is there any noticeable change in his gait? And it does not appear to be.
How do you think Antoine Long is coming through this year? Is that something he seemed affected by it?
Yeah, I think Antoine's had some physical issues with his ankles being a problem for him so far, and then the loss of his grandmother certainly weighs heavily on anybody he grew up in the house with his grandmother. His grandmother is like his mother, when he was raised. But I think he's fought through all those things, and he's found a way to help us win. And I think you get to the last third of your season, and you need your fourth and fifth year players to play their best football, and he's out here practicing all this week, so I'm hoping he can do that for us.
How valuable is a guy like Horn when you move Ruhan over to cornerback to just put him right back into the slot somewhere he's comfortable in?
Karan, you're saying?
Yeah,
very valuable. Karan's been like that really for 3 years now. Karan's done a lot of things. He's always been able to play every position. He plays on special teams and does all those things very well. So I think this year has allowed him to take more reps and be out in front a little bit more, which is why I think more people noticed it. But I think if you spoke to the coaches on our staff the last couple of years, they would tell you that they would have always had that opinion of him.
What's the toughest thing about a true freshman playing the corner when you have so many this year?
I think the toughest thing for a freshman who's doing it is when they do it in high school, if they do it in high school, a lot of times they overmatch the people they play against. And in college football, you're going to be playing against 21, 22-year-old men who are just as big, just as strong, just as fast as you are. And they have not gotten to the point in their careers where they've mastered all the finer points of the techniques of playing that position. So those matchups are hard, and the balls are thrown more accurately, and the players you're playing against have better hands. So I think in every way, it's harder to do it at this level, and even harder when you're just a freshman.
Kyle, I could be mistaken, but Coffey played mostly just the gunner last game, right? He didn't play a lot of defense. Was that an injury thing or something else to it?
He was limited during the week. Didn't take as many reps. So probably more a statement of how Dewan was playing in the game, and Ruhan. Really pleased that. And I don't mention Grief because Grief's been playing there all year, but certainly the combination of those three guys playing the way we thought they were playing led to that. But I think now that he's back practicing full time, you'll see more of him in the rotation.
Is it a nice change at corner to actually have options to choose and evaluate from compared to the last couple of weeks where it was a little tougher?
We've had options throughout the year. They just now that the options have changed. So Ruhan gives us depth, and not just depth in terms of a body. He gives us depth in terms of a productive player and somebody who I think's upside is very good on either side of the ball. So I think it certainly has been a bonus for sure.
How do you as a coaching staff try to help someone in college kids when they go through a loss? How do they have to deal with all the other responsibilities of playing, school, all the things they have to do in college? How do you approach that?
I think you got to do it the same way that you do with a family member. You try to be as understanding of their feelings as you possibly can, and as supportive of all the things that they have to do in order to feel at peace with what has happened. And for every player, that's different. For somebody like Antoine, he felt he needed time to go down to Florida, so we allotted him that time. Once he felt like that, it would not have been in anybody's best interest to have him here. He needed to be there. He needed to be home with his family so that he could be at peace with the decision. And I think once that happens, you try to be as supportive afterwards, knowing that there's always going to be more emotion after the fact, whether it's the day after or a week after.
Do you guys do you ever have to ease up? I mean, I know sometimes coaching can try so hard. It depends on the personality. But do you ever have to ease up to kind of understand the burden?
I don't think you ever ease up on the field. I don't think easing up on the field is really going to help any player, and I think you're setting them up for failure if you do that. I just think you want to support them in the other 22 hours a day that they're not on the field. You want to make sure that you support them. Now, you have to make a decision as a coach if a player is ready to go back on the field, sure, and you have one-on-one meetings to do that. But more often than not, the players have been ready to go back on the field, and you got to coach them the way you coach them every day, or you're doing them a disservice. But I think you can support them in all the other ways when you're not practicing and you're off the field.
Kyle, with this, final bye, what kind of opportunity does it give you guys as a staff? Maybe are you out on the road at all this weekend, or what are you guys?
Sure. Yeah, we've been out a little bit already this week, and we'll be out again this weekend to see some of the games, and a great opportunity for us. Certainly want to take advantage of every evaluation that we can, and I think other than having them on your campus live to play, that this is probably the second best thing that happens, where you can actually go out there and watch them play live and in their environment, and it's definitely fun for us. We enjoy being out at the high school games.